Welcome back, everyone. Nick and Lex here. Thank you so much for joining me to another episode of Music with Nick. Today we got a marathon by Matt. Thank you so much, Matt. This is the second one in a short time that I've done for you, and the first one was just amazing. I hope you did enjoy. I mean, I was just blown away by the variety and of the bands that I've never heard before. So thank you so much. Today we got another one almost in the same order of bands. There's a couple of bands that I know and the rest I've never heard of. For example, U2. Of course, who hasn't heard of U2? I mean, you won't believe it. In Mexico, there are people that I've asked if they've had heard of Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd, and they have never heard them. So that's just the way it is. Those bands, or any band, doesn't get a lot of radio play, or there's not a lot of places where you can buy that stuff, especially where we lived. We lived right at the beach, so there was basically no music. So U2 could be one of those bands that nobody knows in Mexico, but and then there's some other bands here, but let me just go through the bands. So we're gonna do U2, the song I Threw a Brick Through a Window. This is from the album October. Let's see when this came out. 1981. All right, then we're gonna do the Psychedelic Furs, President Gas, All of This and Nothing from 1988. Looks like we're going to do an 80s marathon. Awesome. And then this is from the album The Fixx, One Things Leads to Another. This is from Mirando las Nubes from 2022. So we did jump. Oh, wait. Give me a second. This is a compilation. Let's see. Mirando las Nubes means looking at clouds. But let's look up here. The Fixx. One Thing Leads to Another. Let's see. I want to find the right album. Oh God. Now, yeah, it wants me to use Bing, which I'm not gonna do. Let's see. Well, I'll find that in a second. Then we're gonna do Age of Consent. This is the band New Order, Power, Corruption, and Lies, 1983. And oh, I've seen this cover. This is a very, very important cover. The Headmaster Ritual from the Smiths. Meat is Murder. I recognize it so much because it's on his helmet. So this is, yeah, it looks like more of a politically charged 80s marathon, which I'm going to pay a lot of attention to in the lyrics. So, okay. So we're going to do this in a second. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Thank you again, Matt, for sponsoring this marathon as well as the other. Thank you so much. I'll be right back with you. All right, we're ready to go. And I did figure out that the One Thing Leads to Another is from 1982, and there was only the best of the Fixx here, the Millennium Collection. Otherwise, there were other compilations, but there's not really the album on Spotify. But yeah, we're gonna do this. Thank you so much, and yeah, let's pay some attention to the lyrics here. I mean, obviously also the music, but here we go with U2. I think I've never done a U2 reaction on this channel ever before. So here we go. Let's go. it's crazy because the only album, let me see when this was. The only album that I really heard, and because we used to cover, of course, with or without you, that's one of the songs that I knew, because that's like their most famous song, I think. But when I actually bought the album, Zorupa. I was very small, and 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 that is like, I love that album. I know every song on here was just like Numb, and then Lemon, but it's like so different. It's because it's more like electronic. This U2 sounds way more like, I can't even describe what this is. It's just a totally a style of their own. It's a totally, I mean, a style of its own. There's nothing really like it in 81. This is, by the way, their second album, and I'm just looking at that. But I mean, there's nothing that sounded like that, because Bono, the way he sings, these little falsettos that he does, like, beautiful. And a lot of delay, you know. I think that The Edge, he, instead of playing solos and stuff, he would, you know, experiment more with delays and just effects, and it's like so good. And the drums, it just sounds very original. And I'm looking at the lyrics, and it's not a lot of, it doesn't really explain about a break through a window. It's just about a guy, like, you know, it says my direction going nowhere, and then when I look into the mirror, does he say I was walking into a wall? So it is more about somebody being lost, I think, you know. It's then, and then maybe in his, you know, in his being directionless, he did maybe, you know, through, I don't know, it doesn't actually say about anything about that. I was talking in my sleep, I can't stop talking. It's really confusing. It's one of those lyrics that you have to analyze a little bit more. You have to kind of like dig a little bit deeper. But I'm trying to ingest the lyrics, but also focus on the music, which is amazingly good, you know. U2 is just one of those bands that are just like, they have like this really good timeless style, and also when they play live, it's always a spectacle. I've seen some stage setups by U2. It's insane. But yeah, let's keep going with this. I'm enjoying this very, very much. Let's go. You see, like, who plays drums like that? It's totally a unique sound. And I think those are a couple of bands that have this very uniqueness to them, like the Depeche Mode. Because the other day somebody said, like, this is the way you pronounce them because they're from Canada or from France or something. Depeche Mode. And I'm like, okay, so Depeche Mode, then U2, what else? There's like these bands that are just so unique. Like, for example, Pet Shop Boys. Pet Shop Boys. They're so good. They're so unique. I don't know. I wish I could do just a marathon of like really crazy bands that are just came up in the 80s and just morphed into something different than in the 90s. But I think U2 have always been very original. And they're not really like a rock band. They're like a everything band. They play it all, you know? Like they play just very different music, you know, in the realm of, I guess, rock and roll. Okay, so this is the next one. Now, I don't know. I think I've reacted to these guys, the Psychedelic Furs, and I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, they're going to be in Denver. Oh, no, that's Florida. Live. I wouldn't be surprised if this was from Matt as well. But this is President Gas. And then let me see. I do want to pull up the lyrics. I never do this, but just for reference, you know. Okay. Oof, yeah, it's very, very lyric heavy. Here we go. No, I'm super happy that I pulled up the lyrics because literally the entire song is about the lyrics. And it's basically, it's crazy that in 1982, we had the same problems that we still have today. It's crazy. It's literally saying that, like, if you, well, now this, what I wanted to say, this reminds me a lot of David Bowie, very, very much of David Bowie, the way he sings, the way he phrases, very, very cool. And it's so true. Like, he comes in from the left sometimes, he comes in from the right, and then the price of medicine, it's literally still the same. Like, nothing has changed. Nothing. It's insane. Okay, let's go back to President Gas. Here we go. Really cool selection, by the way.
You and I, it's a real cowboy set, electric company. Every day is happy days, it's hell without the sin. But don't cry, don't do anything, no lies back in the government, no tears, party time is here again. President Gas is all for president. Lie now, put your kisses down, say yeah.
The it's just gonna go back to the chorus, but yeah, pretty much, like I I was taught, from my parents that politics are, I don't know, pretty much. I mean, for them, I guess it was a waste of time because, I mean, we're also not living in, we were living in Europe and Germany, and it was, I don't know, different. But I was never interested in politics. I've said this before. And then living in Mexico, you have totally no power. People, it's a complete chaos. People, it's the same party that keeps, winning and winning, and it's just like people there kind of like have given up on their government, and it's just like, the perfect example is like every year they raise the price of like bus fare or a subway transit. It's literally ridiculous at this time. It's like when I moved there, it was, I think, 50 cents, and then now it's like 15 pesos. From 50 cents to 15 pesos for the same thing. It doesn't matter if you just go if you ride through the entire like city, or if you just have to go 2 stations. It's so expensive, and there's nothing they can do about it. What they do is they basically, when they raise it like another 5 pesos, then everybody kind of like stops going for one day, and they say, oh well, I have to go to work, I can't do anything. So they've given up, pretty much. So I don't know what to think anymore. And then politics in the United States, I mean, it's not as, I guess there's things that can change, but I don't know, it's, I can't vote, so I don't know who I would vote for. There's so many things that I don't like about one side, and then there's so many things I don't like about the other side, but there's also things I agree with on both sides very much. So I'm like right down in the middle, I think that's the safest bet for me. But, who am I? But yeah, it's very interesting that in 1981, we pretty much had the same problems as we have today. Very good. So good. I love the distortion on the guitar, the bass, the drums, the lyrics. It's like, the thing about this, like, I don't get me wrong, I talk about politics a lot, but I've always promised myself and Alexia that here on the channel we would not talk about politics because this is a music channel. I could easily open up a channel where I only talk about politics, and I would have content for days because I am not, I play it like I don't know, but I do. And I do have a lot to say, but I'm not going to do it on this channel. I promised Alexia. So, yeah, because it's a totally different animal. Once you get into politics and other stuff, you have, and especially on the internet, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I have the skin for that, I don't know. Maybe it would be interesting, but I want to have fun. I want to have fun on the internet, and I want to have fun doing this, and once you get into the nitty gritty, because it's always, and it's so today nowadays, everybody just like types, no, I don't think it's a good idea. So, because I don't think so. So let's move on. Okay, this is the Fixx. One thing leads to another, and this is also from. I said this was from. Give me a second. Well, I think I said 82. This is a best of from 2000, but here we go. Let's pay some attention, and boom. Very good again. Yeah, it's just like I love that music used to be such a great medium for for bringing a message across, and still is, but most of messages nowadays are shit in music. They're all about sex and drugs, and it's just so disgusting. But so there's some good writers out there who also express their stuff, and but this was nice because even like Genesis, like the Land of Confusion, I love that song because I guess I didn't really understand the lyrics back then. I didn't even speak English, but when I saw the video, I was like, wow, this is some weird stuff going on, with the president and stuff. So I guess it was their way also kind of like to say, I think everybody has had maybe a song or two where they kind of like, they have had a little bit of enough of things going on in the world. And this is again 82, and it's just like they say, do what they say what they mean. One thing leads to another. So no, it's like it's just the same old happening, so it's crazy that's still the case. I mean, humanity in 40 years, we've literally we're still, all of that has changed is the internet, and the internet has changed the way of doing everything. I mean, even this wouldn't be possible without the internet. And the problem is that, you know, the internet has a lot of fools. You know, the internet has a lot of people that just talk out of their ass. And that's what is kind of like, you know, they have the right to do it, but it's just like, it's difficult because when you get so many different opinions and so many people are very, you know, stuck in their ways and you can't get them out of there. So then you're going to get a lot of people that are with different views, and it's just chaotic, you know. So but I'm not a fan of, you know, suppression or anything. I think everybody deserves the right to say what they feel and mean. But there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of people who think they're right and they mean good, but in the end, they're not right, you know. So that's why this is so, the internet is so chaotic when you get into any kind of debate. And I'll debate anyone on a, you know, but I don't know. People just get their sources at the most crazy places. Like you can't get a good resource on YouTube, I think, you know, like for something, for anything, you know, any social theme, I think. Go to the library, you know, like get your sources right, you know, like, or go to a school, or I don't know, but on the internet and on YouTube, you know, where anyone can make a video about anything, that's not a good idea, you know. It's just like, maybe it's great that everybody can express themselves, but just to get your sources on YouTube, I don't think that's a good idea, because that's why there's so many people who believe so much nonsense nowadays, you know. But I guess that's totally a different theme right now. We're talking about politics. So let's just focus on the music a little bit, because I know where this is going, the lyrics, you know. Very good. That bass line, boom, 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 boom. This also reminded me a little bit of Talking Heads, like the style of music, you know, the intention. I don't know. I think the 80s was very important era of social, you know, expression from people, and also the 70s, of course. I mean, those were even more, you know. And then the 90s, I think every decade has been very vocal, you know, like the 90s with Rage Against the Machine, or I don't know, Guns N' Roses. You know, I've heard lyrics talking about politics, you know, so much. And it's all from different points of view always, you know. So it's what I don't agree with, I think, is to judge You know, it's like, well, you know what? I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it anymore. Um, um, I'm gonna dodge a bullet here. New Order. This is from Age of Consent. This is from Power, Corruption, and Lies. Okay, 1983. Here we go. Ooh, you know what we need on here, Matt? We need a Control and Resistance from Watchtower. Amazing progressive band from Texas. Amazing, beautiful progressive metal. If we have some time, I do have to go somewhere, but if we make it, although it would kind of like destroy the whole harmony of this. It is from the 80s, but it's so heavy and so complex, and maybe let's wait for that one. But it also talks about the same issues. So let's do Age of Consent. This reminds me so much of this movie. I don't know, maybe it's even, is this from that time? Yeah, there's this movie that shocked me so much when I first watched it in Germany. It's a German movie and it's called Wir Kinder vom Bahnhof Zoo. And man, if you can watch that movie, it's also, I think in other countries, it's called Christiane F. And it's about this teenager who's a heroin addict, and it's horrible. It's very dark, but it's very good, and it has a soundtrack. It has Bowie, and it has all kinds of amazing music, but it's very dark and grim, but it reminds me of that time, that like that keyboard and dum 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 dum. It's very 80s, and oh man, it's so good. Those lyrics are a little bit different, but great, man. Great theme here. Great 80s stuff. freaking good. This also did remind me a little bit of the the Psychedelic Furs, like the style. It's like it's a specific style. It's very good. And now we're gonna finish it up with the Smiths, and the Smiths are. I'm familiar with them because of Alexia loves this band and also this cover, and because we used to watch 500 Days of Summer. If you haven't watched that movie, I do recommend it, but you're gonna hate one particular actress. I don't know, like Alexia loves her, but I just after that role I was like, God damn, sorry for cursing, but yeah, I guess it depends on from what perspective you look at the movie. It's a very good film. Just like check it out. 500 Days of Summer, and Zoe Deschanel is, and I think what's his name? Oh man, my memory failed. So it's a guy that he's in The Dark Knight Returns. He plays Robin, I think. And he's just super famous. So the Smiths, and he basically, his character listens to the Smiths all the time, and then they meet in an elevator, and she's like, oh, you're listening to the Smiths, and I like the Smiths, and so that's how I know the Smiths. So I'm not very familiar with the music, but I've heard some that Alexia has played to me. But now we're gonna listen to the Headmaster Ritual. Meat is Murder is the album. Here we go. 1985. So good. Okay, the lyrics are over, and pretty much, I don't know if it's just like because of an enlisting, into the army back in England, is like, because give up education is a bad mistake, and then midweek on the playing fields, uh, I don't know. It's just like you have to read the lyrics. It's very hard to understand because it's very fast, and even though this is a remaster, it's still hard to pick out the lyrics, so you have to have them in front of you. But it's pretty much like saying, I want to go home, I don't want to stay, and then even like the abuse people receive being in the showers. And so yeah, it's the headmaster's ritual. That's kind of, it's a dark it's a dark theme. But the music, when I cut out the lyrics, which is almost what I always do, the music here is so good. The way these riffs, and the Smiths sound so original. The singer has such a unique tone to his voice. His phrasing is very unique, very almost, I don't know, it's almost like he's talking, but it's, I don't know, it's just very, very freaking original. I love it. And I love also what they use on their guitars, these very beautiful chorus like effects and delay, and it's just the way they arpeggiate everything is gorgeous. Gorgeous music, gorgeous band. Like, I would just love to deep dive, and I don't know, maybe I should, because I know this is the first Smiths reaction ever in 2 years, so maybe I just listen to them, But yeah, let's keep going. So good, this music. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, that's his name. That's the actor that I was talking about in the movie 500 Days of Summer. But man, this was a great tune. All of them were thought-provoking, not too much, It's not, what I like about music is they keep it in a sense, and also like you could just listen to the music and not even notice. But they do speak out on social issues and things they think they want to talk about, and things that are going on in the world. And I think it's a great medium to do this in music, because what do people love the most? That's not, I mean, music is one of my favorite things in the world, more than TV, more than anything, maybe not more than surfing, but it's literally the same, it gives me the same high or same satisfaction. But this was a great marathon. Thank you, Matt, so much for, and also, you didn't even include like an instructional manual or like an email like, hey, Nick, this is about this. You just let me do my thing, and I think I appreciate that. But I guess just from the titles of, I kind of knew that this was going to be lyric heavy. But then again, I'm sorry if I didn't talk about the music that much, but I was focusing on the lyrics as good as possible. I'm not very good at deciphering on the first. I do have to get into the lyrics and kind of like, you know, take them in from different perspectives and just read them, you know, without the music, and then I might even understand them a little bit more. But I hope you still enjoyed the marathon, and everybody else. I think these are all great artists. I mean, New Order, fantastic. The Smiths, YouTube, the Psychedelic Furs, the Fixx. I mean, there's not one band that I disliked. I mean, and I'm very honest, and I think with Matt, I've been like, hey, I'm sorry, but I hated this, you know? So, and I've been honest with other people. If music doesn't, you know, get me, then I'm just very vocal about it. You know, I guess everybody should, you know? So thank you again, Matt. This was a great experience, a great time, you know, a great time overall. So thank you so much. I hope you did enjoy the selection. Thanks to Matt. I hope everybody can thank him for his contribution to the channel. I do appreciate it very much. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.